this program. My only request is if you put questions in the chat box and I have to sit and address your questions during the 2 hours, we will not get done with the curriculum. So my request to you is whenever you have a question, do not put it in the chat box, write it in your notebook, and after the training is done, I will tell you how to stay in touch with me personally and get your questions answered. How many of you think that's a fair mechanism of addressing questions rather than getting distracted by 400 plus people's questions here in the next 2 hours? Yes, I will tell you how to get in touch with me personally, how to continue asking me questions personally, and I'll be happy to help and support each and every one of you beyond these 2 hours as well. Awesome, fantastic. Thank you so much for those who are typing fair in the chat box. Next, I also want to define who is this training for. Okay, this training is for people who already have their own running business. Now, whether you're a one man, one woman solo entrepreneur or a 2 member, 5 member, 10 member, 20 member team micro entrepreneur, or a 30, 50, 80, 100, 200, 500 member size SME business owner. It doesn't matter what is the size of your team. It doesn't matter which industry you belong to. It doesn't matter what is your financial situation. As long as you have a running business, this program is for you. If that is clear, type a clear in the chat box. If that is clear, type a clear in the chat box. Awesome. Fantastic. Next, while this is 2 hours of your time that I'm asking you for, I want you to be physically and mentally present. So lock yourself in a room, sit in a no distraction area, and plug in your energies into this program for the next 2 hours, because I know one idea from this program can change the direction of your business forever. So if you're willing to participate fully, if you're willing to keep your energy super high and exchange energy on the chat box with high energy, type out yes in the chat box. Type out yes in the chat box. Come on, move those fingers on the chat box. It's a game of energy. The more energy you put in, the more learning you get out, the better action you will take, the better results you will produce. Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are my ground rules for us to get started with this business training. So, I want to get started now. The first thing I want to do before we dive into the curriculum is I want to know a little bit more about your business. So, type out for me in the chat box which business are you building? Okay, type out which business are you building. And if you're in a job, type out job in the chat box. If you're in a job and you're attending this program, type out job in the chat box. Otherwise, type out for me which business are you building. Okay, which business are you building? So I see Arafat is in car detailing, Kapil runs a travel company, Tapan's an event, Pooja runs a restaurant, Gaurav in jewelry business, Ramesh is in photography, Vicky is in photography, Akhilesh runs an education business, Shahad is in the toys business, Shubham runs a clothing store, Kavi Priya runs a skincare business, Alamin runs an electric plumbing business, Ajay runs a saris business, Shokib runs a wealth management business, Sujit runs a pet grooming salon, Ishwarya Obuli Venkatraman runs eco-friendly products business. Mohammad Wasim is in web design and development. Deepika is in a job. Janani runs a digital marketing agency. Akshay is in drop shipping. Jyoti is on houseboat in Kumarakonam in Kerala. Subhashini runs an online jewelry business. Akash in marketing and advertising. Aryan runs a silver jewelry business. Aman runs a footwear business. Subhrajit is in a job. Kirat runs a designing and printing business. Ajinkya runs a pharma business. Sandeep runs a construction business. Okay, Durgesh runs an apparel business. Okay, guys, 400 people here. I may not take all your names. Doesn't mean I love you less. But I'm just looking at the chat box of the diversity of businesses we have. So people in pet service, foreign language training, office spaces, RO packaged water, electrical business, food business, automobile dealership, cosmetic business, wholesale distribution, industrial goods, interior design business, garment manufacturing, design apparel wear, transport business, SaaS product, e-commerce business, plastic raw material, political consultant. That's an interesting profession. Confectionery business, gardening business, plywood manufacturing business, macrame products, construction materials, oil distribution business, cake shops, FMCG manufacturing, marble trading, chocolate business, interior design, organic store, bridal wear, pipe manufacturing. I love the diversity of this group already. Fertilizer business, real estate business, gas manufacturing business, salon chain business, okay, digital marketing agency, boutique, doctor with their own clinic, fitness center, chartered accountant, physiotherapy and rehabilitation center, banking business, car detailing business. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, spare me if I didn't address your business. I see teen cosmetics, travel agency. Fantastic. Firstly, a very, very, very warm welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you to choose to invest your time in learning and growth. And I promise you, the next 2 hours will be of great value to each and every one of you. Now, I love the diversity of the group. I know for a fact that when you have such a diverse group of people, the learning always is very, very enriching. But before we begin, like I have understood your background, would you like to know a little bit about my background? If yes, type out yes in the chat box. Okay, if yes, type out yes in the chat box. Awesome, fantastic. So, firstly, my name is Rajiv Talreja, born and brought up in this lovely city called Bangalore. I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years now. Over the last 18 years, I've started 7 businesses. I've failed at 3 of them. I have 4 successful, thriving businesses and a celebrity sports team that I own today. So, currently, these are the 4 businesses, and I have one celebrity sports team that I own. My first venture was Quantum Leap, which I started in the year 2006. Today, Quantum Leap is Asia's largest micro, small, and medium enterprise business coaching company. We are a 150 member team with 65 full time coaches on our payroll. We assign a business coach to a business for a period of 1 year, and our business coaches work with the entrepreneur one to one in helping them build strategies to scale up the business, systems to automate the business, and teams so that everything is not dependent on the business owner. So that's what we do as Quantum Leap. We are present across Middle East. India, of course, is our largest market, and then Southeast Asian countries like Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and we also have presence in Sri Lanka. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my first venture, Quantum Leap, and that's predominantly what I'm representing here today with all of you. My second venture was Dreamcraft Events and Entertainment, which is a corporate event management services and experiential marketing company. Dreamcraft was started by my lovely wife Bhakti, and I joined her in 2010. And over the last 14 years, we've been doing experiential marketing campaigns and corporate events for large corporate brands. We do conferences, dealer distribution meets, product launch events, brand launch events, channel partner recognition events. So we do all kind of experiential marketing events through Dreamcraft Events. My third venture is Zoozle, where I invested in Zoozle after its early stages. Zoozle is an e-commerce membership site which gives advantage to its members to save more than 18% on their daily necessities. We sell products cheaper than Amazon and Flipkart as well. So that's where I play the role of a director of strategy and business growth. My fourth venture is QL1, which is an app we are building for MSMEs. Right now, it's in the beta stage where we are creating one single platform where business owners can come and get support in terms of networking, in terms of reliable suppliers and vendors, in terms of funding for working capital requirements, in terms for learning resources. So QL1 is like the super app that we are currently building for MSME business owners. So these are the 4 businesses that I'm building currently. Over and above these 4 businesses, I have a sports team called Karnataka Warriors. Down south in India, we have 4 film industries: Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam. The film stars of these 4 film industries compete in a badminton tournament, which is called a Celebrity Badminton League. I own the Kannada film celebrity team that represents the state's film industry. And that's because I come from Bangalore and Karnataka is my home state. So this is my background. I'm an active business owner, just like each and every one of you. This is what I'm currently building. My failed businesses were in the industry of outsourcing. I had an outsourcing company. I had a recruitment business at one point of time. And that didn't work out. And I tried to build a networking platform that failed as well. So I have those 3 failures and these 4 thriving businesses. So this is my background. Are you comfortable in taking this learning journey with me as an entrepreneur to you as an entrepreneur? So I'm not going to talk to you like a trainer or a coach with an American accent. I'm going to talk to you dhande ki bhasha, the businessman's language today, and help you break down what can you do to scale your business to the next level. So are you comfortable in taking this journey with me over the next 2 hours, everyone? If yes, type out yes in the chat box. Awesome. Fantastic. So with that, let's get started with what is the biggest challenge or trap or problem a business owner can fall into. Okay. So what I want to introduce as a base conversation for us to build this training on is the most dangerous trap any business owner can fall into. Can you tell me, according to you, what's the most dangerous trap? Type out for me in the chat box. What could be the most dangerous trap for any business or business owner to fall into? Ankit Lodha says firefighting. Okay. Ajinkya says self-employment. Okay. Okay. The chat box is bustling. Sugan says one-man army. Neeraj says credit. Budhan says lack of funds. Harshini says debt. Anubhav says cash flow. RM says lack of sales. Okay, debt, doing everything by yourself, not knowing what's to be done, zero vision is what Akshay types. Doing everything by yourself is what Rakesh types. Ratnakar says not being able to scale up. Jatin says firefighting. Arafat says self-employment. So consider this, okay? While at the surface level, all of us may look at lack of cash flow, debt, lack of money as the problem, but what you need to understand is this: lack of money, debts, and poor cash flows is not the problem. It's only a symptom. The symptom is all these financial challenges that a business faces. The root cause is one simple trap, and the root cause is the trap of self employment. Now, what do I mean by the trap of self employment? The trap of self employment is a situation where most of the activities of the business are dependent on the business owner. Now, how many of you agree when the business owner is involved in too many things and the business owner is the karta, dharta, and the bangan ka bharta of too many activities in the business, then the business owner loses the ability to focus on growth, focus on expansion, focus on scale, and gets stuck in the game of month to month firefighting. Yes or no? Now, watch. I have seen a lot of business owners, they assume and presume their only problem is money, and then they borrow money. Now, watch. If you borrow money and you put it in a business where the systems are missing, the strategies are outdated, the teams are not capable enough, and the business owner is doing everything, jumping from one activity to another activity, what do you think will happen with the money that you've borrowed into your business when the system, strategy, teams are not sufficient and efficient and the business owner is doing everything? What do you think will happen with the borrowed money? The borrowed money will just add another layer of debt. Please understand this. Money is not the solution to your problems. It's a symptom indicating the real problems. Because I have seen business owners say, I need money, I need money, I need money. I'm like, for you to get the best return from that money, you first need the right system, the right strategy, the right team. And if you don't have the right strategy, systems, and teams, and you are doing everything, that money is only going to give you temporary relief for taking care of expenses of the business, which the business is not efficient to produce for itself. But then over a period of time, what will happen? You'll need more money, then more money, because you're not solving the real problem. If a business is not capable enough to achieve financial stability, it only means that the strategy, systems, and teams are not efficient enough. If you got that, type out got it in the chat box. If your business is not capable enough to achieve financial stability, it only means that the strategy, systems, and teams are not capable enough in your business. So the first focus needs to be on strategy, systems, and teams. Only when the strategies are right, the systems are in place, the teams are effective and efficient, that's when you will achieve stability. Now, you will not be able to build the strategy, systems, and teams if you look at yourself as a superhero. How many of you agree to that? If you have a habit to do everything by yourself because you think nobody can do the work as well as I can do it, so let me only do it. What's the point of teaching? What's the point of building teams? What's the point of creating systems? I am the system. I'll only do it. Then that habit is the reason why you are like a dog that is running behind its own tail in circles, but not really accomplishing anything. Does that make sense, everyone? Because I want you to understand a simple logic. Self-employment is a situation where you start a business, you create jobs, you pay salaries to your team members on time, but you are doing the work the team is supposed to do. And when you end up in this habit of doing the work that the team is supposed to do, over a period of time, you also start compromising on your personal finances, thinking, I will take money home when there is money, if there is money. If there is no money, I'll take positive thinking and motivation back home. How many of you realize this is one of the biggest mistakes business owners make, where they don't value their time, their effort, their skills in the business, and they feel so good about not paying themselves consistently? Yes or no? Yeah. Some of you are sending emojis of hiding your faces like this. Okay. I know right now with those words, some of you would have gotten triggered, but please understand, I care for you to tell you the truth, because sometimes in this positive thinking and motivation, we don't see reality for what it is. And until and unless we don't see reality for what it is, we will not make decisions that will change this reality. Yes or no? So do I have the permission to be honest with all of you today? Awesome. Thank you so much. So the reason why business owners get stuck in this trap of self-employment is because they've designed the business in a manner where everything is dependent on them. Deep down inside, they feel good about this. They feel like a superhero, like a savior, that, oh, there is not enough money in the bank and I'm the one who got the deal. There's not enough, the client is unhappy, I'm the one who addressed the issue of the client. They enjoy this superhero emotion. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, watch this. When the owner dependency is high, then naturally there is no consistency of action in the 7 foundational activities of the business. Okay. I know some of you are now getting triggered and you're putting questions like, what if I don't have the money to hire people? Then what? Hold on. Like I said, put your questions in your notebook. After the training is done, I'm happy to answer every single question of yours. But what you need to understand is this: just because you don't have the money to hire people doesn't mean the science of building a stable business changes. The science of building a stable business remains the same. It doesn't change. Okay. So I'm not asking you to hire 7 people for 7 activities tomorrow morning. I'm saying even if you don't have the money, have the inclination to hire 1 person at a time, 1 activity at a time, and get out of it. Does that make sense? Even if you don't have the money, 1 person at a time, 1 department at a time is what you need to build. And the problem is a lot of business owners look at even hiring that 1 person as an increase in expense, and they go into the shell saying, why to simply hire and waste money? I'll only do everything by myself. And the person who thinks like that is not building a business. They are building a trap of self-employment for themselves. And that's what I want to bring to your awareness today. What you need to understand is when you are involved in too many activities, the consistency of the 7 foundational activities of your business gets compromised. Now, what are those 7 foundational activities? I will list them out for all of you. I want you to listen and tell me if you agree each and every business needs these 7 activities. Number 1, how many of you agree every business needs to do marketing to generate leads and inquiries? Yes or no? You can't just wait for word of mouth referrals. Word of mouth referrals is not in your control. You can't predict, you can't project how many inquiries you'll receive through word of mouth referrals every week, every month. You need to be proactive and consistent in marketing as an activity so you generate leads consistently. So every business needs marketing to happen consistently for leads to come consistently. Because if there are no leads in the pipeline, if there are no inquiries for your products or services, sales has nobody to sell to. Yes or no? And if sales is not selling, then you're not generating revenue for your business, which brings me to the second activity that is critical for the stability of all our businesses. Marketing is critical for generating leads. Sales is critical for generating revenue. Every business needs to have a constant mechanism of reaching out and pitching their products or services to the right customers. For that, marketing needs to bring those prospects so sales can turn those leads into deals. So sales is the second activity. The third activity is operations. Now, under operations, all the departments that are involved in creating your products or services and delivering your products or services come under operations. Your purchase department or procurement department comes under operations. Your production department comes under operations. Your service delivery department comes under operations. Your customer support comes under operations. Your IT comes under operations. Your logistics comes under operations. Administration comes under operations. Quality check comes under operations. So every activity involved in the process of delivering the product or service to the customer comes under operations. And the purpose of all operations activity is to create positive customer impact. How many of you agree to that? If you agree, type out agree in the chat box. The job of operations is to create a positive customer impact. So the key is to make sure marketing is bringing leads, sales is generating revenue, operations is delivering a positive customer experience and a positive customer impact through the product or service. Then the fourth critical activity on any business is accounts. Accounts is necessary for you to be compliant to the rules and regulations and the laws of the land. You have to take care of compliance. You have to take care of tax compliance, registration compliances, pay your taxes on time, make sure you have the required licenses to run your business. So compliance is a critical responsibility of accounts. Plus, reporting is a critical responsibility of accounts. Accounts needs to present data on an ongoing basis to the business owner so that the business owner can see the actual financial data and make decisions. Now, in a lot of businesses, reporting is missing. Most business owners don't know how much money are they making on a weekly and a monthly basis. They're just going with the flow, assuming they're making money because they're busy in operations. That's not healthy. You need a cash flow statement report. You need a profit and loss report so that you are evaluating the financial performance of your business. So you have marketing, you have sales, you have operations, you have accounts, then you have human resources activities like recruiting the right person for the right time, for the right job, at the right investment. You have people development activities for your existing team members to train them, to mentor them, to coach them, to develop their capabilities. And you have to create the right policies and initiatives and the right culture and environment to retain your employees. Now, how many of you realize one business owner or two business partners, if they try to do all of these things by themselves, no matter how hardworking they are, no matter how committed they are, no matter how passionate they are, they cannot do these activities consistently. Yes or no? It's not possible for one or two people to do all this by themselves. So do you realize that by expecting yourself to be involved in everything, you're living in a fool's paradise where you're selling yourself the idea that you are going to be firefighting and jumping from one activity to the other, but somehow magically, mystically, the universe will open doors of heavens and give you a lot of money and profits. Want work, my friend. You got to be real. To build a stable and successful business, marketing needs to be consistent, sales needs to be consistent, operations needs to be consistent, accounts needs to be consistent, human resources activity needs to be consistent, legal has to be in its place, where you need to have proper employee contracts, you need to have proper customer contracts, proper vendor contracts, so that your business is secure and you have control over things. So many, the other day I received a message on Instagram from a business owner. Rajiv, my team member has been cheating me. He's been diverting clients. He started another company and he's been taking salary from me and doing sales in the market and diverting clients to his other business with another business partner. I said, did you have an employee contract in place that if somebody is working with you in a full-time job, they cannot have their own business? He said, no. And I said, look, why didn't you take care of basic contracting? He said, no, I never thought about it. I thought contracting is for big companies. Look, one mistake wipes out your business. How many of you have seen that happen with people around you? Right? So you need to secure. Legal is a one-time activity, protection, precautionary activity to get contracts in place. Then you have management as an activity. Now, this is your job. Your job as a business owner is management, to align everybody to the goals, to align everybody to departmental goals, to align everybody to each other, and to track and review the performance so that we achieve those goals. Now, can I say something in all honesty, everybody? Can I say something in all honesty to all of you? Here's what I've noticed. Businesses that are struggling for survival are struggling for survival because the business owner is not doing management. The business owner is doing crisis management. When the business owner is the only person involved in selling and getting customers, and then in operations and servicing customers, doing sales and operations is not called management. That's called crisis management, because you are doing sales and operations because you believe nobody else on the team is good enough to do it. And you're the only person with the capabilities to do it. So you're stuck in that role. That is a game of survival. That's a game where your focus becomes only monthly survival, where your thought process becomes, how can I make enough money to pay salaries on time, rent on time, credit card bill on time, and supplier on time? And I've seen business owners feel happy and relieved when they're able to meet expenses on time without even wondering, what am I getting for myself out of this business? Because they think thinking about self equals being selfish. I'm sorry, my friend. If you've been sold this idea that a business owner's life is only to sacrifice for the sake of their business and their team, not have time, not have money, be in debt, be stressed all the time, that's not called a business owner. That's called a job owner. Then you're owning a job. You've given yourself a job. And that's why I call that the trap of self-employment. Is this making sense? I really want you to look at these 7 activities right now: marketing, sales, operations, accounts, human resources, legal, and management. Look at these 7 activities right now and evaluate for yourself. Are these 7 activities happening consistently in your business? Because if these 7 activities are not happening consistently in your business, then you are stuck in this trap of doing everything by yourself. And the focus of doing everything by yourself is not even growth. It's just merely month-to-month survival. Is this making sense? So the question is, how do we get out of this trap of self-employment? What are the things that we need to focus on as a business owner to create growth? How many of you would be interested in finding that answer today? How do we focus on growth and expansion? Awesome. So while I've introduced these 7 activities and got you to do a basic mental evaluation of the status of these 7 activities in your business, and I've also brought to your awareness this concept of self-employment, which is probably the most dangerous trap you need to be aware of in your business, and you need to be focused on breaking through it. The key for you to grow is to make sure that you're focusing on 4 elements. So I'm going to give you 4 elements to focus on business growth. And in each one of the elements, I'm going to define the key changes you need to make. Are you ready for that? Yep. Awesome. So the first area that you as a business owner need to focus on is your business model. So write down key changes for business growth. Focus area number 1, business model in your notebook. Once you're done writing, type out done in the chat box. Awesome. Thank you for those of you typing out done and giving me a confirmation. Okay, fantastic. Now consider this. When I talk about business model, firstly, how many of you agree that as a business owner, while you need to be optimistic in your actions, you need to be pessimistic in your analysis? Yes or no? You need to be optimistic in your efforts, but in your analysis, you need to look at worst case scenarios and you need to prepare for worst case scenarios, because when you're prepared for worst case scenarios, then you at least have a proof of concept that cannot be threatened or challenged. So what I'm going to teach you today is a threat analysis framework. It's a small, simple exercise to do a threat analysis about your business, keeping 3 common threats in mind. So let's understand what are these threats. First, the first threat is disruption threat. What do I mean by disruption threat? How do you do a disruption threat for your business? Ask yourself a very simple question. Will any technology or alternate option replace the way my customer consumes my products or services? Everybody write this question in your notebook down and I'll give you some examples. Will any technology or alternate option replace the way my customer consumes my products or services? Okay. Now, this is a disruption threat. If a new technology comes, if a new alternate option or channel comes, will it change the way your customer consumes your products or services? That is something you need to analyze. For example, my father was a traditional retail business owner. He started a store in Bangalore for this brand called Hutch. Vodafone before becoming Vodafone in India was Hutch. So when Hutch launched, he started a Hutch dealership where he used to sell SIM cards. Then after SIM cards started becoming a free commodity by companies, then from there he started a Nokia priority dealership store where he used to sell Nokia mobile phones. Okay. Now from Nokia, for the longest time, Nokia was a monopoly in the country. From Nokia, as Android technology came in, my dad diversified his store into a multi-brand retail store to sell mobile phones. He started selling Nokia, Motorola, Samsung, Oppo, whatever brands were there, he started selling all of them. Now, when e-commerce happened, when Amazon and Flipkart came into the market, they started discounting phones. If you remember the initial stages of e-commerce in India, the first commodity on which all these e-commerce platforms gave heavy discounts on to acquire customers was mobile phones. So when they started doing heavy discounting, and we used to have customers walk into our store, ask us for a price, and then open Amazon and Flipkart in front of my father and show him, "Hey, uncle, I'm getting it for this much price over here. Why should I buy from you?" That was a disruption for the retail industry. Do you see that? That was a disruption, right? Now, similarly, You need to ask yourself, can an alternate option, an alternate channel, or an alternate technology act as a threat to my business? Like, for example, we live in a world today where artificial intelligence is becoming an active part of human life. Today, people are not going to Google and searching. They are going to WhatsApp, and Meta has that Meta AI button. They're clicking on that and doing their searches. They have ChatGPT installed and they're doing searches there. Now, guess what? With artificial intelligence, a lot of redundant activities that businesses provide will get automated automatically. So, is there a threat there? Evaluate in your business. Now, people ask me, Rajiv, what if I face this kind of a disruption threat? What should my approach be? What should my solution be as a business owner? Would you like an answer for that, everyone? Okay. If you perceive a disruption threat or you can visualize a disruption threat of how things can change in your segment or industry, number one, be the person who's disrupting. Adapt. Be the person who's disrupting. Don't be a victim sitting there saying, but we are a traditional business. How can we do it? I had a client who was in pharma manufacturing. He was manufacturing medicines. He was manufacturing supplements. He realized early that, okay, traditional retail distribution may get disrupted. He launched a supplement brand, a e-commerce supplement brand, and today is one of the biggest players. So you want to understand, this person doesn't come from an engineering background. He's not an IIM IIT graduate. He's a 10th standard Marwadi business owner, 10th standard dropout. But because he saw disruption, he was courageous to pursue it and figure things out. You may not know technology today, but how many of you agree? If you put your time, energy, and effort, you'll figure it out. You don't have to sit and develop software. You can work with experts. But the question is, are you thinking in that direction? Are you investing your time and effort in that direction? Because most people are not. Most people enjoy being a victim. They enjoy sitting hand on hand and saying, market is getting spoiled. पहले जैसा मजा नहीं है धंधे में. Have you heard people say that? It's not like first how it was before. I'm sorry, it will never be like how it was before. Okay, before people used to listen to tape recorders. Today people expect music to be played at high speed for free on YouTube. So why are you expecting your business to be the same as it is right now forever? It won't. So disruption threat is the first threat you need to analyze on. You either be the person disrupting and adapt or change your business. Like my father changed his business. He said, I don't want to be in retail. I don't want to play the mobile phone retail business game anymore because Amazons and Flipkarts will not allow me to survive. He removed all his capital out of the business and he went to Taiwan, China, a couple of these places, saw factories, and he started importing automobile accessories. So from a retail business, he went into a trading business of automobile accessories. So he changed. And we know people who are my father's friends who still not changed. And till today, when you meet them, they're crying about the same thing. Margin hi nahi hai, dhanda mar gaya hai. People are coming to our shop, seeing the mobile phone demo piece and then buying on Amazon and Flipkart in front of us. I'm like, my friend, change is constant. If you don't adapt, you will die. So you got to firstly evaluate disruption threats and make changes in your business model. Does that make sense? Second threat, everybody write down. The second threat is the spend threat. Okay, spend threat. And next to spend threat, write these two questions that I'm showcasing to you on the slide. I'll read it out for all of you. At what level of priority does spending money on your product or service come for your customer? So you write, at what level of priority does spending money on my product or service come for my customer? And the second part of the question is my product or service a value product or service or a vanity product or service for my target customer? Is my product or service a value product or service or a vanity product or service for my target customer? Once you're done writing these two questions next to spend thread, type out done in the chat box. Then I'll give you examples. Once you're done writing, type out done in the chat box. Awesome. Thank you. So consider this. Consider this. Do not look at your product or service from your eyes. Look at your product or service from the eyes of your customer. Now, Many a times I've seen business owners, they are so emotionally attached to their own product or service that they believe this is the best thing, everybody needs it. You shouldn't say everybody needs it. Does your customer say, I need it? How many of you agree? Your customer needs to say, I need this product or service. If you are the one who believes they need this product or service, then that's a big challenge. Like, I'll give you an example. I had these two women entrepreneurs. They were my clients, business partners, and they were into manufacturing of eco-friendly corporate gifts. Okay. So they would manufacture only eco-friendly corporate gifts. Now watch. And in their entire mindset, it was like, oh, we want to do sustainable gifting. We want to do gifting made out of handmade paper, recycled materials. We want to take care of the environment, which is great, which is fantastic. Okay. And they would go to these large corporate companies who would procure corporate gifts to give to their employees. Like, when an employee joins a large company, a new employee gets an induction kit as a gift from the company, where they get a laptop bag with the company's branding, a wind sheeter with the company's branding, then a folder with the company's branding, stationery with the company's branding, and all of that. Or during Diwali, gifts for the employees, for the customers. So this enterprise, which was into eco-friendly corporate gifting, their target customers were HR managers, procurement managers, admin managers of large corporate brands. Now, these two women really believed in their product. They believed in the cause of sustainability. They would go to these corporate companies, showcase their collection. Now, when they would showcase their collection, the thing from the HR manager or the procurement manager or the admin or facility manager who's responsible for procuring gifts for employees. Now, that person wants to give gifts which the employees would like. Agree? Which the employees would feel like, boss, fantastic. Okay. Now, they want to satisfy the employee. But this business is sitting there and saying, eco-friendly, sustainability, saving nature. Now, in the real world, for those HR managers, procurement managers, admin managers, they may probably buy these gifts once. But then most of their gifting will be focused on things that the employees would like. So they rather give their employees Book My Show vouchers, Amazon vouchers, so the employee can buy whatever they want, gift cards, okay, or the standard laptop bag and your office stationery with the branding of the company. Now, this was a reality which was so difficult for these two business owners to swallow. For 10 years, they were into eco-friendly gifting. And I said, look, please be clear. You doing something that has a good cause is great. But a good cause that does not fit into the market's needs becomes a charity, not a business. How many of you agree? A good cause that does not satisfy the need of the customer, that is not a priority for the customer, becomes a charity. Do it as a charity then. Okay? Do it as a charity. But if you are wanting to build a business, you're stuck at the same level for years, then evaluate at what level of priority does spending money on your product or service come for your customer. Look at it from the customer's point of view. Is this making sense? Now, for how many of you, this question that I've put here also challenged you a little bit, where you felt like, actually, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being highest, 1 being lowest, for my customer, spending money on my product or service is a 6, is a 7. That explains the resistance you face in sales. That explains the time it takes for you to convince your customer. That explains the delay in the consistency of your sales cycle. Is this making sense? Yeah. If you're willing to look at it without an emotional attachment to your product, you will find a lot of answers through these questions on why you are facing the challenges you are facing today. Because the question you want to ask yourself is your product or service a value product or service, something that a customer would look at as must have, or a vanity product or service? A vanity product or service is a nice to have. Eco-friendly gifts to be given by a corporate company to their employees is a nice to give, not a must give. Is this making sense? So vanity is nice to have. Value is must have. Manoj, focus on the learning. Okay. Now, watch. When I say vanity and value, Okay. And I say value is must have, vanity is nice to have. Some of you who are selling luxury products may start thinking, Rajiv, then in that case, I'm a vanity. No. Just because you're selling a high value or a premium product doesn't mean you're doing vanity business. Don't misunderstand what I'm teaching you here today. Say, for example, if you are running a Mercedes car dealership, Mercedes, for a person who can afford it, is a value product, not a vanity product. Is this making sense, everyone? Because once I had a fashion designer. She said, Rajiv, based on this learning, I'm realizing that I'm in the vanity business. I'm not in the value business. I'm like, no, 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 no. As a fashion designer, if you have your own fashion label, if you are targeting high net worth customers, elite families in your reach, then for the elite families, for the high net worth customers, you are a value product. But if you open your boutique in a tier 2, tier C locality, okay, where the shops in and around are not of premiumized brands, then naturally in those kind of shopping localities, you will have a footfall of customers for whom, oh, 5,000 rupees top, so expensive. 20,000 rupees for one dress, so expensive. So please understand, whether your product is a value product or service or a vanity product or service depends also on who are you targeting as a customer. Did you get that, everybody? Did you get that? So it's also important. See, I always say this, the solution, if you're facing a spend threat, okay, if you're facing a spend threat, the solution is very simple. Either you change your product or service and offer something which is of significant value to your customer, or you change the target customer who you are targeting. Sometimes I see businesses targeting the wrong type of customers. People who can't afford their services, they're targeting them. Like I talk to so many life coaches, so many parenting coaches, so many counselors and therapists, and they say, Rajiv, mental health is such an important topic, but people are so unaware and they're not willing to spend money. I'm like, I'm sorry, I disagree. You are targeting the wrong people. If you are targeting as a therapist or a life coach to someone who's in a job who makes barely 80, 90,000 rupees in a month in a metro city in India, for a person living in a metro city in India, 80,000, 90,000 salary in a month, their priority on life coaching is last. They have EMIs running. Yes or no? But if you're a life coach, you're a therapist, then target the high net worth individuals, target the celebrity families, target the family members of a politician or a film actor, because the kind of mental trauma they go through being a part of the family of a politician or a film actor is something else. Build your brand, then create content on Instagram accordingly. Make sure your look and feel of the brand is premium then. Is this making sense? So if you have a spend threat, either change your product or service or change your target customer focus. If you got that, type out got it. Like I had a client who was in a corporate catering business and he was doing catering for companies with 50 employees, 80 employees. And he was like, oh, Rajiv, it's barely making money. I'm like, target companies which have cafeterias with 3,000, 5,000 employees. He's like, how will we get such a customer? I'm like, go push. Even if it takes you 6 months to crack a deal, that first deal will become your benchmark and reference point. Is this making sense? If you keep believing we are small, we are small, we are small, we are small, you'll always remain small. If you believe you are small, how will big work come to you? Simple question, no? Because you only see yourself as small. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, disruption threat, disrupt and adapt or change the business. Okay? Spend threat, either shift the product or service offering and offer something which is of high priority to your customers, or change the target customers and target people who have the money and the need for your products or services. If you got these 2 points, type out got it. Which brings me to the third threat, the ROI threat. The ROI stands for return on investment, not return of investment, return on investment. Okay. Guys, I'm not going to be answering questions in the chat box. Please understand. I have 400. Oh, right now we have 612 people here. I didn't see how many people we have. So I'm not going to answer questions in the chat box. Like I said, after the training is done, I will tell you how to stay in touch with me personally and continue asking your questions. Once you're done writing ROI thread, how healthy are my margins? Type out done in the chat box. Okay. Once you're done writing the third point, ROI thread. So essentially, what are we saying? The third threat that a business could face that you need to evaluate whether your business is facing is a return on investment threat, which means, are you making healthy margins or not? Okay. Now, people's question to me, most obvious question is, how do I know what margins are healthy? Okay. That's the big question. Rajiv, and people start sending in the chat box right now. They start sending, Rajiv, I'm making 5% net profit. Is that healthy? Rajiv, I'm making 12% net profit. Is that healthy? Rajiv, I'm making 18% net profit. Is that healthy? 30% net profit. Is that healthy? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Firstly, please understand the context of the number that is a healthy profit margin changes business to business. Now, I'm not saying this to get away from my responsibility to teach you what is a healthy profit margin. But instead of giving you a percentage, can I give you a definition of a healthy profit margin so you can evaluate whether your profit margins are healthy or not? Can I give you a definition, everybody? Would you be interested? Yes. Okay. So listen to this. As long as you are making enough money, listen up. As long as you are making enough money in your business to give consistent financial growth to your team members, okay, as long as you are making enough money from your business to be able to give consistent financial growth to your team members and to be able to experience consistent financial gains for yourself, to be able to take care of the necessities of your life, to be able to save money for your future, to be able to invest money in other assets for your growth, to be able to enjoy that money, okay, and to be able to contribute back based on whatever you feel like contributing. If you're able to make enough money to give consistent financial growth to your team members and to draw enough money for the necessities of your life, for the savings for your future, investments in other asset classes for your personal asset growth, enjoying that money in whatever way you'd like to enjoy it, travel, gadgets, whatever things you have as goals. Okay, as long as you are growing towards these areas and contributing back in whatever manner you feel like contributing back to society, how many of you agree that means your business is serving its purpose? Yes or no? That's healthy profit margins. To be able to make enough money to give consistent financial growth to my team members and experience consistent financial gains for myself, to take care of necessities of my life, savings for my future, investments for my personal assets, enjoyment of my life in whatever areas that I'd like to, in whatever ways I'd like to enjoy, and in giving back to society in whatever manner I want to give back. Nobody gives a definition like this much percentage you have to give back. Tumhara man kitna karta hai, de pa rahe ho kya? Then you are sorted, my friend. Vijayta Chaudhary says, this is such an eye-opener. Guys, stop looking for reference points from the world. Look at, is your business enhancing the quality of life of your team members and you and your family? If your business is enhancing the quality of life of your team members, of you and your family, you are a champion. Does that make sense? You don't need yourstory.com to write an article about you for you to feel like a champion. If they write, great, but that's not the ultimate achievement of life. Just remember that. Okay. So work backwards in terms of your profit margins from this thought process that I should be able to give consistent financial growth. I should be able to pay myself enough to take care of necessities, savings, investments, enjoyment, and contribution. That should be your first primary financial milestone in terms of margins. Then you grow from there step by step. Clear? So that is your first threat. Now, while I've given you these three threats today, can I give you a framework for you to think and build your business in that direction so that you protect yourself from these three threats? Can I give you a framework to think? Okay. So I call this the reinvention framework. I believe every 5 to 7 years, a business needs to pause and think about how are they going to reinvent themselves. Okay, every 5 to 7 years. Now, here's the rule of the reinvention framework. The rule is this: no matter how much technology disrupts the world, how much competition enters an industry, how much growth happens of the information of consumers, the rule is anybody who's building a superlative in their industry will survive and thrive. Now, I'll simplify this. Some of you are like, kya baat kar raha hai? What is superlative? Wait. What I mean by superlatives is this: the person who's the largest or the biggest in an industry will survive and thrive. The person who's the cheapest in the industry will survive and thrive. The person is the most popular, most famous, most known, most engaging will survive and thrive. The person who's the most unique and different will survive and thrive. The person who's the most advanced will survive and thrive. The person who's most available, accessible in terms of distribution will survive and thrive. The person who's the most necessary and indispensable, where people can't do without it, will survive and thrive. Now, the question you need to ask yourself is, when you are building your business, which one of these categories are you building towards? Are you building towards becoming the largest or the biggest player in your industry? Okay. Are you building with are you building in the category of becoming the cheapest in your industry? Are you building in the category of becoming the most popular or famous or known or engaging in your industry? Are you building in the category of becoming the most unique product or service in your industry, or the most advanced product or service in your industry? Because I'll tell you, if you are not a superlative, then for you, business survival becomes very, very difficult. I'll give you an example. I had a client who was into garment manufacturing, and he used to manufacture denim jeans. Now, when he used to make denim jeans, he was so proud. Okay. He told me, Rajiv, in Gujarat, there are 5, 6 big retailers, clothing, garment retail stores, where my jeans is kept right next to Levi's jeans. He was so proud of it. Okay. Because operationally, isn't it an achievement where he's built a product whose quality is so good that a retail business owner is willing to keep his quality right next to Levi's jeans? Yes or no? Operationally, it's a great achievement. I looked at him and I said this. I said, congratulations on the achievement of being placed next to Levi's jeans. But let me ask you a question, and please be honest with me on it. How's the sales? He said, Rajiv, sales utna acha nahi hai. But again, it's a very big achievement for us to be placed next to Levi's jeans. No. Then I gave him another example. I have a client in Trichy who manufactures jeans, and they sell jeans for 250 rupees outside bus stops and railway stations across South India. 250 rupees jeans. Guess who makes more money? The guy whose jeans is next to Levi's jeans, or the guy who's selling 250 rupees jeans outside a railway station or a bus stop? The 250 rupee guy. Why? Because he's a superlative. He's the cheapest. He's not saying our product is the best, our denim quality is the best. He's saying, I will become a superlative in the category of cheapest jeans. Now, this guy whose product is placed next to Levi's jeans, you know what happens? People come to the store. The retail store owner tells the customer, try this jeans, it's very nice. His product is priced at 3,000 rupees. Levi's jeans is 4,200 rupees. Think from a consumer's point of view who's entering that kind of a garment store. What will he think? 3,000 rupees, I'm getting this jeans, where the brand is not known. 4,200 rupees or 4,800 rupees, I'm getting Levi's jeans. What will that consumer incline towards? That consumer is inclining towards Levi's jeans. So his product is a great. Now he's proud of, my jeans quality is better, my price is lesser than Levi's. Baba, Levi's is not even playing the price game or the quality game. Levi's is playing the brand game. Do you realize that? People are not, that customer base is not looking at quality or price. That customer base is looking for brand. So if you want to beat Levi's, then you got to beat Levi's in the brand game, because that's the game they're playing. This is like saying Cristiano Ronaldo is better than Sachin Tendulkar. How is that even a comparison? Cristiano Ronaldo is a footballer, Sachin Tendulkar is a cricketer. Levi's is playing brand game, you are playing quality game. It's not even the same game. How many of you today are getting light bulbs going off or like firecrackers in your head? You're going like, I am not even thinking about these things in my business. Yes or no? So, ladies and gentlemen, decide based on your strength. Can you become the largest? Can you become the cheapest? Or can you become the most popular or the famous person? Today, you have social media power. Can you become the most popular or famous person? I have a client who's a car dealer in Delhi. He sells second-hand cars, used cars business. Okay. Today, you know what is his biggest challenge? His biggest challenge is that there are used cars dealers who have gotten popular on Instagram, where they are making videos and they are saying, आओ भाइयों आज दिखाता हूं 5 लाख रुपए में 2018 मॉडल की फॉर्च्यूनर. Now this client of mine, he's saying, Rajiv, we do proper paperwork, we do proper due diligence if the car has been through any accident, we do hassle-free transaction only in white money. These guys are making Instagram videos and they're sometimes selling accident-driven cars. You want to understand this, ladies and gentlemen? You want to really get this, that superlatives will win. Those guys are most popular today. They are making videos on Instagram and selling used cars. How many of you watch those kind of videos? Some of you are like, but doesn't quality matter? Quality matters. I'm not asking you to not provide quality products or services, but I'm talking about your positioning in the market. Are you the largest or the cheapest or the most popular or the most unique or the most advanced or the most available or accessible or the most indispensable? If you're not the most and you're the second best or the third best or the fourth best or the fifth best, people don't care. That's the reality. When you do a Google search, you may click on the top 2 links of Google search. You don't go scroll down and look at the 17th link because probably their quality is better. Is this making sense, everybody? Some of you are getting defensive today because these are areas that nobody has challenged you on. My request to you is, this is not me versus you. Keep an open mind and challenge yourself today so you identify potential for growth in your business. I'm doing this to upgrade your ability to think as a business owner. Just thinking about how can I provide a good quality product or a good quality service to my customer is not enough to build a successful business. You may think that statement is not fair, but life is not fair, my friend. Life is not fair. How many of you know people in your industry whose product quality or service quality is not as good as yours, but they've outgrown you? They've outgrown you. And you sit back as a victim thinking, nowadays honesty is not appreciated. I'm sorry, stop behaving like a victim. You want to build a successful business, you got to think all angles. You got to think marketing, you got to think sales, you got to think operations, you got to think accounts, you got to think team building, you got to think all aspects if you've decided to be a business owner. You can't just be an operations expert and say, I am just a product expert or a service expert. And for that, if the world can honor my greatness, it'll be great. The world doesn't have time for you. You got to make sure that you have all these components running in your business. Clear? So, ladies and gentlemen, superlatives. Ask yourself, which one of these superlatives do you want to build? You got to innovate to differentiate yourself. You got to create an undeniable value proposition, something that people cannot say no to. Like I always ask business owners 2 questions. Give me an answer. Why should someone buy this product or service that you're selling? And why should they buy from you and not from somebody else? How many of you agree these are 2 important questions for you to have a clear answer for? Why should a customer buy my product or service? And why should they buy from me, not from somebody else? If you do not have a logical answer to these 2 questions, why buy this product or service? Why buy from me? Then you're living in fool's paradise. And please understand, we are in 2024. We are not in 1994 for you to say our quality is good. In 1994, the benchmark was you should provide a good quality product or service. Today, how many of you agree? That's a given. It's a given that the quality of your product or service should be good. Customer doesn't see that as a special feature. Good quality is a basic expectation that all of us have today. Yes or no? So until and unless you can't have a tangible answer, you are just another business like just another business. You're just another business like just another business. And please understand, whatever your answer is of why buy this and why buy from me, it should be an answer that the customer should be able to understand. A lot of times businesses have answers to these two questions, which the customer can't understand. For that, they have to first buy the product or service and experience it. How many of you, how many of you have faced this in your journey as a business owner? Selling is such a painful, stressful, hard process for you. Then after somehow you compromising on the price and you sell the product or service, the customer appreciates you so much and you feel good, but at the same time you feel bad saying, see, now you realize how good I am, but see how you paid me so less for it. How many of you have thought that thought? Or you made it so difficult for me to sell to you? How many of you have ever had that thought? So please understand, the mistake is not the customer's mistake. The mistake is, as a business, we've not been able to communicate in a manner where the customer can understand what is special about us. So just saying our service is good, our quality is good, our delivery is tight. ये सब तो basic है. These are basics. You should give a compelling reason. It should be compelling. Why should I buy this? Why should I buy from you? Does that make sense? And you will not find an answer to these two questions today. You have to take these two questions back with you, brainstorm with your teams, and create a tangible answer for this. How many of you think this requires that priority, effort, research, brainstorming, and creation? Yes or no? This is not like 2 hours, some magic pill I'm giving you and life is sorted. In these 2 hours, I'm going to give you work for the future. Okay. I'm giving you work for the future. Next, I'll give you an example for this. I'll give you an example of a very basic business. Everybody say hello to Vasavi and Vaishali. Vasavi and Vaishali, two sisters based out of Hyderabad, okay, were running a coaching and tutorial business in their mother's home in the evenings for additional income. Okay. Vasavi was married. Vaishali was in a full-time job. And for earning additional income in the evening in the neighborhood kids, they used to run maths classes, science classes as a tutorial business. Watch this. Before they came into working with us and took our support in their business, they were doing a revenue of 12.5 lakh rupees per annum. They answered the question, why buy from me? Why should they buy from, why should anybody send their children to Vasavi and Vaishali's tutorial center? They said, we have the most advanced method of tutoring your kids. We don't put all your kids in one batch in one class. Based on the marks, the comprehension ability, the interest levels of your child, we have different batches. So for someone who's struggling with a subject, they wouldn't be in a class of 30, 40 children. They would be in a group of 4 to 5 kids with a specific tutor for them working at their level, so that their self-esteem is not getting challenged in a class of 30 kids where 10 kids are brilliant and these people feel like, oh, we are duds. Now they created a tangible solution saying children who score less than 40%, we give a 1:4 tutor to student ratio. Children who score above 50% to 70%, we have a 1:12 tutor to children ratio. And children who are good, we put them in a competitive batch or a competitive class so they get excellent, which is about 80%. And none of them were exposed to each other. So there was no cross conflict of lowering the self-image or the confidence level of a child who's not doing well. Now parents understood and appreciated this idea, saying that, wow, as a tutorial, you're not just taking care of academics, you're taking care of the self-esteem of my child. And you're paving a pathway for the development of academic skills of my child. So they differentiated with a tangible offering. Yes or no? Now, because they did that, in 1 year, within 1 year, they grew from 12.5 lakhs to 60 lakhs per annum. As a services business running out of a home setup, 12.5 lakhs to 60 lakhs is a good jump. Agree? Right? I'll give you another example. Here's Pankaj and Rakhi. They run a designer garment store in Nagpur called Aura. Okay. Now they run this retail design garment store. Before they understood this concept and took our support in making changes in their business, they were doing a revenue of 5.5 crores. They were one of the biggest designer garment stores in Nagpur already. But then we pushed them to answer the question, why buy from me? Because what would happen with them, the challenge they faced was, if a person would come to their store, they would buy a garment of a particular designer, then these people would lose customers, because once that person likes a particular designer, they would then directly go to that designer's boutique or that designer's outlet. But these guys were stocking inventory of multiple designers. Now, what they decided is they decided to build the largest collection. They said, we'll build the largest collection. And then they marketed themselves saying 200 designers under one roof. So their positioning was, we are the largest design house. They positioned their retail store as a house of fashion. Okay. Now watch. They moved from 200 to 200 designers as the largest collection. And they did content marketing and became the most popular brand in Nagpur. And because of that, first year after making the change, 88% revenue growth. Second year after making the change, 100% revenue growth. Is this making sense? Guys, I'm giving you examples of all sizes. A business like Vasavi and Vaishali doing 12.5 lakhs in a year is a small business. A business like Rakhi and Pankaj doing 5.5 crores in a year is a fairly stable business. So I'm giving you all sizes example, be it small or be it large. Okay. So please understand this, that the principles don't change because your revenue is big or small. The principles remain the same. Is that making sense? Because some of you like being a victim, but mine is smaller than even Vasavi's and Vaishali's. Do you think it will work for me? Will you work for your business? First, let's answer that question. Because if you decide to work with the learnings work. Okay. Next. Okay. Next part. The second focus area. So business model is one aspect. Everybody understood the business model. You got to evaluate your disruption threat and build a superlative. You got to answer why buy this and why buy from you in a superlative. What are you going to be the most advanced or largest or cheapest? Be a superlative. If you got that, I got it. Awesome. So I come to the second area now. Okay, the second area, one of my favorite topics to teach that you need to focus on to grow your business is marketing. So the model is about what is your differentiator. Marketing is about what is your reach. So write these 4 statements in your notebook. Everybody write this. Educators will rule the world. Content creators will rule the world. Marketing is not self-promotion. Marketing is value addition. Everybody write this down. Educators will rule the world. Content creators will rule the world. Educators will rule the world. Content creators will rule the world. Marketing is not self-promotion. Marketing is value addition. Once you're done writing this, type it down in the chat box. Once you're done writing, type it down in the chat box. Awesome. So listen firstly, okay? When I ask business owners, what are you doing for marketing? First answer, Rajiv, we don't have money for marketing. You don't need money for marketing. You need money for advertising. Okay. You need money to run an ad in the newspaper, on television, on radio, on social media platforms like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You need money for advertising. Now some of you are like, oh, yeah, no, I need money for advertising. But then what is marketing? So let me differentiate the two for you. Advertisement is promotion of your products or services. Everybody understood that? Because what do you see in an ad? You see in an ad somebody promoting their product or service. Okay. So advertisement is promotion of product or service. Marketing is not promotion of product or service. Marketing is value addition. Okay. Marketing is value addition, which means what? How can any business add value to their customers? Any business can add value to their customers by either educating their customers or creating content that entertains their customers. Agree? Like if I am a restaurant and I am putting out content of a pani puri eating competition that happens every Friday evening in my restaurant, and I'm putting reels of pani puri eating competition with a timer where 3 people are putting pani puri ghapa in their mouth. Now watch. Do people like to consume that kind of content? Yes. People love that time pass. Saying, okay, will this blue shirt guy, they don't even know those 2 people eating pani puri. Will this blue shirt guy eat more pani puris or this red shirt? The blue shirt guy looks very, very thin. Will be able to eat. So what is the restaurant doing? The restaurant is capturing the attention of the audience by creating content which is entertaining. Or someone could educate. Now you may say, Rajiv, we can't entertain. We're a B2B brand. If you're a B2B brand and your tone of product or service is serious, don't entertain, but at least educate. No, like I'll give you an example. I have a client who runs a IT services business, and predominantly their expertise lies in developing games for brands. So they're into gaming development, okay, as an IT services business. Now, IT services business is a very crowded market, because today, as an IT services business, you're not just competing with other IT services companies, you're competing with freelance developers who are picking up projects on platforms like Upwork, where the price points are peanuts. Now, for him, the challenge was he was only depending on word of mouth referrals. This client of mine was only depending on word of mouth referrals, no marketing, no value addition, no engagement with the target audience. He would go to a meeting with desperation on his face. The client can see this person's desperate. And in his mind, he's praying, saying, hey, Bhagwan, if this client converts at least those 8 people who are sitting on the bench with no projects, some money I'll recover from their salary. Oh God, please make sure I get this project. That desperation is visible on your face when you don't have projects in the pipeline. How many of you agree? Agree? Now, when the client sees you are desperate, also do you realize your client does financial cheer haran? True or not? Now, in this situation, this client of mine had to always undersell. He had to agree to the price that the client is asking for, because he just needs business for turnover. He's thinking something is better than nothing. At least I'm getting a project. No, let me take it. And a business that gets stuck in that psychology, of just doing work at any cost, is very difficult to break that trap, because then the market starts seeing you as someone they can demand anything from, and you are used to giving also. Okay? Now, this client of mine understood the power of marketing. He identified his niche. His niche is gaming development. So he started creating content on gaming development. He started writing blog articles. Okay, best practices in gaming development. 3 things to keep in mind for a brand while designing a game for their clients. Okay, how can brands use gaming development as an effective customer engagement tool? He started creating content on these topics and started putting articles on LinkedIn, started sending these articles through email marketing to CMOs of large brands. Okay, now in his articles, he's giving solutions. He's showcasing his expertise. He's showcasing his subject matter strength. He's adding value to people. Are people learning something by consuming that content? Yes or no? Now, people are learning from that. As people learn from that, do they start seeing him as an expert? Because he's showing his expertise. Now they start saying, oh, this guy has good brains in gaming. This guy knows how a brand should use games to engage with clients. He's putting out case studies of the clients he's worked with and what kind of return on investment on gaming development has he been able to create for his clients. So he's adding value through education. Now, when he's adding value through education, he's establishing credibility as an expert. As a result of doing this in 8 months, he built such a good brand name for himself with CMOs of large brands in India, where he had such a good, healthy pipeline of leads and inquiries that he took his service cost up by 22%. He increases his service fees by 22%. And for anybody who knows anything about the IT industry, to increase your pricing and hold your pricing and still get clients is an achievement in today's day and age. He gives zero scope for negotiation. Why? Because he's marketing consistently. When he's marketing consistently, he has a pipeline of consistent leads. When he has a pipeline of consistent leads, he has the confidence to hold his price and his payment terms. Yes or no? How many of you realize you're compromising on your margins or you're compromising on your payment cycle because you're depending on that existing customer only, or you're depending only on word of mouth referral because you don't have a marketing engine? And in today's day and age, it doesn't cost money to do marketing. It requires skills, and skills can be learned. The skill of making videos can be learned. The skills of writing educational articles can be learned. The skill of putting picture or image or graphic based infographics can be learned. Now, if you're going to sit there and say, I am 50 years old at this age, what to learn? Then my friend, you don't need competition to beat you. You are killing yourself. You are a suicide bomber. आपको competition नहीं मारेगा, आप खुद को मार रहे हो. Is this making sense? Learning has no age. I have a client. His name is Dr. Sajjan Agarwal. He's a skincare specialist based out of Hyderabad. He's 86 years old. And as an 86-year-old, he makes videos on skincare tips and sends it to WhatsApp groups. Now, he's not putting content on Instagram and Facebook because he's not comfortable using those platforms. But he has his past clients on WhatsApp on a broadcast list. He's making educational videos saying, okay, now winter is coming. Your skin will become dry. Here are 3 tips for you to moisturize your skin well during winter. Now, does that kind of content on WhatsApp gets forwarded on other groups as well? Yes. An 86-year-old skincare doctor is doing this. What is your excuse or reason for not doing it? Oh, Rajiv, my English is not that great. It doesn't matter. Let me show you an example. But before that, I have a question. Do you have the skills for educating and content creation? Because today, this is a necessity for businesses. And if you don't, then what are you doing about it? Today, learning how to create content, educating people through content is becoming a necessity for every business. Either you educate or entertain, add value in any way, whichever suits your brand. Educate or entertain, both are value addition only. But you got to learn the skills. Now, for those of you thinking, Rajiv, I can't speak English, let me give you an example. Say hello to Dr. Sutapa Sen. Dr. Sutapa Sen runs a fertility clinic in Kolkata called Prapti Fertility Clinic. Before she learned marketing, she was only dependent on word of mouth referrals. Only dependent on word of mouth referrals for people to walk into a fertility clinic. Here was her transformation. She started creating educational videos in Bengali. This is a screenshot of her YouTube channel. When I took this screenshot, it had 27,200 YouTube subscribers. I don't even know how many are there. Okay, I had used her example in another presentation in the past. But 27,000 subscribers on YouTube for a doctor is great. Agree? And she's creating educational content on women health, gynecology related issues for women. Now, as a result of her creating this content, and she creates this content in Bengali, she's not creating content in English, she's creating content in Bengali. After building this YouTube channel, her inquiries in her clinic have gone up by 525%. This is the power, because today people are making decisions by consuming content. And her revenue today is 74 lakh rupees per month. As a fertility clinic, 74 lakh rupees per month is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think she learned how to create content in medical school? No. She built her medical expertise in medical school, but she was open to real world education, open to learning new capabilities. And that's why she grew. She didn't sit there saying, as a doctor, okay, I don't want to put myself out there. It's a skill to learn. So one of your action items today can be learn how to create content. Okay. In these 2 hours, I can't teach you everything. So I'm giving you business model one side, marketing one side. Are you seeing that these are critical anchors of your business? Everybody, yes? These are critical anchors. My job today in these 2 hours is to give you the foundation. Business model, build a superlative. Why buy this? Why buy from you? Marketing, get into value addition. Educate or engage. I'm giving you the insights today. Beyond these insights, if you need the skills, I'm happy to support you beyond these 2 hours. Is that fair, everyone? Let's not expect miracles to happen that in 2 hours I teach you YouTube also, Instagram also, business model creation also, people management. Okay, I'm laying the foundation for all of you. Okay, next, third key element. So first element is your business model. Second element is marketing, where you got to become someone who's adding value. B2B, B2C doesn't matter. Educate or engage through whichever platform where your customer is available. Next, third key change, focus area number 3, everybody write, team management. Everybody write team management. Once you're done writing team management, type out done in the chat box. Okay. Once you're done writing team management, type out done in the chat box. Now, firstly, what I want all of you to understand is that as a business, having a management system is a necessity. It's not an option. Having a management system is a necessity. It's not an option. It's not, oh, I'll see. No, if I'm running a business, I need to have a system of management. Now, can I list out for all of you what are the systems of management you need for you to build an effective team and manage your business in an efficient manner? Can I list all the systems for all of you today? Yes. First, it starts with a goal setting system. What do I mean by goal setting system? See, a big mistake I see many business owners make is they watch a motivational video and then they make goals. Watching a motivational video and then setting some unrealistic goal is not goal setting. Okay? That is wishful thinking. How many of you make this mistake of creating high ambition goals at the start of the financial year, say in February or March, you decided from April 1st till March 31st, this is our goal. And truth be told, by August or July, you've forgotten what those goals were. How many of you have experienced this? Be honest. If you've experienced this, type out true in the chat box. You did some motivational training. You beat your chest saying, hum jeet sakte hai, hum karenge, we will do it. Put one big number. And by July, August, you've forgotten also what that number was. That's because that is not a goal setting system. When I talk about a goal setting system, you don't just create a financial goal. You don't just define a revenue number or a profit number. Apart from a financial goal, how many of you agree for you to have a system in goal setting, you need to design even functional goals, which means you need to create goals in those 7 activities that I listed out for you earlier. You need to define what is the goal for marketing. How many leads will marketing generate so that we can achieve the financial goal? What is the goal for sales? How much revenue and how many clients does sales have to acquire so that we achieve that financial goal? What is the goal for operations? What is the quantity of goods or services we need to deliver? What is the time within which we need to deliver those goods or services to our customers? What is the cost within which we have to produce those goods or deliver those services? What is the quality at which we need to deliver those goods or services? Those are operations goals. Only when we achieve operations goal will we achieve our financial goals of revenue and profitability. You have to define accounts. What is the accuracy benchmark? What is the reporting benchmark in accounting? Only when accounts delivers that accuracy goal and reporting goal will you have a management view as a business. Okay. What is those human resources goals? How many people do we need to hire? By when do we need to hire? For which roles do we need to hire? Okay. What are our learning initiatives? What are our learning goals for our team? Okay. What are our policies for retaining employees? You need to define marketing goals, sales goals, operations goals, accounts goals, human resources goals, legal goals. What areas of your business you're not legally protected? Now, how many of you agree? Only when you achieve goals in these 7 foundational activities that I listed for you at the start of this program, only when you achieve goals in those areas will you achieve your financial goals. Yes or no? Now, the funny part is most people don't even create goals in these areas. So as management, you need to have a goal creation system, a system to define financial goals and interlink it with functional goals. Only when you interlink financial goals with functional goals do you have a roadmap or an opportunity to achieve financial goals. So that's the first system of management. The second system of management that you need is a system to hire the right people. Sitting in an interview and asking a candidate questions like, are you hardworking? Are you committed? Are you open to learning? Will you stay in the company forever? Is not hiring. That is hoping. You will ask questions like, are you hardworking? Are you committed? Are you open to learning? That person will say yes to everything. You will think you found an ideal candidate. After you've given them the job, you realize this is not an ideal candidate. This person's a useless son-in-law. He wants free food and free respect. Hiring needs to be done as a system. You need to define the tasks and activities of a role first before you go out to hire. Based on the tasks and activities, you need to list what is the attitude required, skills required, knowledge required for that role. Based on that attitude, skills, and knowledge, you need to develop an evaluation system. What are the questions you will ask, which are indirect questions, not direct questions? What are the tasks and assignments you will give that person in the interview to test their skill? What is the test or exam you will take to test their knowledge? You need to design and prepare this. Guess what? Most business owners don't do any preparation in hiring. They walk into the interview as though it's MTV Roadies. How do you expect to attract good talent when you don't have talent yourself? I'm sorry to be this blunt, but that's a reality check you need to give yourself. If you don't have the capability of hiring the right people, you will hire incapable people. So the problem is not the incapability of team members. The problem is the incapability of the person who hired. Agree, everybody? So you need to design systems, okay, for hiring. You need to design systems for delegation. You don't hire a person and delegate saying, okay, you do marketing. No, you do sales. No, define under marketing what are the tasks and activities to be done. And for those tasks and activities, what are the measurement metrics you will use to measure performance? Now, some of you are thinking, Rajiv, what if I only don't know all this? If you don't know all this, at least start learning these things, no? At least have a commitment to learn. Because how many of you agree? The more you learn, the more you will grow. The more you will grow, the more you can grow your business. Your business is a reflection of your capabilities. Only having the capability of creating a good quality product or a good quality service is not an accomplishment in life. Beyond having capabilities of producing a good quality product or service, how many of you realize you need management capability? Yes or no? Then you need marketing capability. Oh, so much I have to do. I didn't know business was so difficult. Anything worthy in life is difficult. There is no easy success available on this planet. And people who want easy success don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. So, as a business owner, how many of you realize management is your responsibility? True or not? So, you need to create goal setting systems, hiring systems, delegation systems. You need to create development systems where you're training and mentoring your team members so that they replace you in activities so you can play a more strategic role. You need an appraisal system so that you do salary appraisals in a scientific, performance-driven manner. In a lot of businesses, how do appraisals happen? Appraisals happen based on the personal liking of the manager or the owner of the team member. If I like you, good appraisal. If I don't like you, lesser appraisal. That's not fair. That's not fair. Or appraisal happens based on which team member does better negotiation and blackmailing. Where they come saying, sir, if you don't give 25%, see, competitor is willing to give 25%, I'll join competitor. That's also not fair. Do you have a data-driven appraisal system where you are setting goals at the start of the year and defining for people what are their result goals, what are their skill knowledge growth goals, what are their attitude goals, and then you're doing monthly feedback and review exercises and guiding them and mentoring them and developing them. And then at the end of the year, you're calculating together. It can be that transparent where the team member and the management can calculate together. But if the mentoring and handholding hasn't happened, team member and management are not on the same page. Obviously, then at the end of the year, the team member feels disappointed saying, I expected more, I got this much. So you need to have a scientific firing system for firing the wrong type of people. And when I say wrong type of people, I'm not asking you to fire those who are not producing results or achieving targets. I'm asking you to fire those people who are lying, cheating, stealing, manipulating, or engaging in any kind of sexual harassment activities at the workplace. Those are crimes. Lying, cheating, stealing, manipulation are crimes. Crimes cannot be coached. Crimes have to be dealt with as a criminal. You have to let them go. So, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you realize that when you don't design these systems, that's when your chaos increases and you are forced to sit and be the peon of the office and plug into the day-to-day firefighting issues of the office because the systems are not in place. Yes or no? I have clients who just by the virtue of designing these systems have been able to free up their time and focus on growth and expansion. Let me give you an example. Okay. Everybody say hi to Baswaraj. Okay. Baswaraj is in the corporate gifting business. Okay. Now he was doing a revenue of 3.2 crores per annum. team members, 8 team members on his team, no goals, no roles, random hiring, no feedback, no reviews. Chaos. His everyday life was chaos. He came in, started working with us. We helped him create a management system where we helped him with a goal creation system, a role creation system, a hiring system, a review system, a feedback system. And as a result of those systems in 1 year, with the same efficiency, same team size, he grew from 3.2 crores to 6.5 crores. The point I'm making here is this: don't be the system, build systems. Some of you are the system, and that's your challenge. Anything, everybody calls you. Bulb is not working in the bathroom of the office, you'll get a call. Sir, bulb is gone, what to do? Wait. I'll buy and come. Seriously, you're going to buy a light bulb? That's the worth of your time. That's the worth of your talent. And people feel happy also. To-do list, light bulb purchase today. If you don't value your time, who will? If you don't value your talent, who will? Ladies and gentlemen, first element of growth, your business model. Build a superlative. Second element of growth, marketing. Learn the skills of educating or entertaining and create content to increase your reach and visibility. Third, management. Build systems for goal setting, for delegation, for hiring, for developing, for appraising, and for firing. How many of you agree these are basic yet critical areas that are most commonly ignored by business owners because the business owner is only excited about their product or service? Yes or no? Don't just be excited about your product or service. That's the foundation. But over and above that, you have to build a solid management and marketing system. Okay. Which brings me to the fourth element of growth. Okay. So everybody write down element number 4. Okay. The fourth element where you need to make changes is on your profit management. Okay. I'm going to fold my hands and request you, if you are a business owner, prioritize profitability. Prioritize profitability. Okay. Because at the end of the day, okay, let's put it this way. How many of you watch cricket? If you watch cricket, type out me. Type out me if you watch cricket. Okay. Would it be fair to say a batsman is as good as the runs he scores? Yes or no? A batsman is as good as the runs he scores. Right? You can't have a batsman who's failing, and saying, oh, but technique is great. Ghante ka technique. Not scoring runs. Yeah. You can't, a footballer, a striker in football is as good as the goals he scores. A goalkeeper is as good as the goals he saves. Every profession in the world has a key metric. Agree? For a batsman, it's runs. For a bowler, it's wickets. Okay. For a goalkeeper, it's goals saved. For a striker, it's goals scored. Every profession in the world has a key metric. Can you tell me what is the ultimate metric of a business owner? Ultimate metric of a business owner: profit. The ultimate metric is the money you've earned, profit. And that's why I'm not at all a big believer of this entire funding circus where people want to burn money and show 100 crores revenue, but in that 100 crores revenue, 80 crores is losses. That's stupidity. It's a circus. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, stick to the fundamentals in business. Remember this: optimized and rich is better than big and broke. Optimized and rich is better than big and broke. I know startup founders who've raised venture capital money, who hate their life right now and are siphoning money off from their venture capital funding and are starting restaurants or nightclubs and lounges because at least that gives them cash flow. Optimized and rich is better than big and broke. Okay? Please get this into your head clearly. And for that, the real metrics is profit. Now, if you're looking at profit, it's a simple principle. Either you get deals at your price so that you can earn a margin, or you make margins at the customer's price by optimizing your cost. So either you are someone who's been able to build a brand, build the marketing in a manner where people are willing to pay a premium for you, or willing to pay that price where you make healthy profit margins, or you play the supply game, the cost game, reduce your cost so much that you're willing to meet the customer's expectation and price. And because your costs are low, you still have healthy margins. So either make money on getting deals at your price, or make margins by being able to sell at their price. One of the two you got to do. And remember this, if you can't do either of these two, do something else, start another business. Do something else then. Because if your business is not making money, it's not profitable, there, how many of you agree, it's not worth giving your life. Your life is precious. It's not worth giving your life to something that is not going to reward you back. Do you agree to this? You can't give your life to something that is not designed to reward you back. Don't be an ego entrepreneur. You know who are ego entrepreneurs? Ego entrepreneurs are those people who've started a business, not making any money, not even growing, not even learning, not making any changes, stuck at the same level for years, and not even open to taking up a job. They're sacrificing their family's financial stability for the sake of their ego that I'm a business owner. If you're a real business owner, either learn and grow or shut and take a job. And it's nothing wrong in taking a job. There's no harm in taking a job. Don't give in to the propaganda created by motivational speakers saying jobs are a rat race. If you believe jobs are a rat race, then entrepreneurship is a termite fight. Most entrepreneurs get squished like termites. Be clear. Be clear. Don't lie to yourself. Let your business not be an expensive hobby. So if you don't want to go back to a job and you're really serious about building a business, then learn the skills required. No, don't sit there again thinking that whatever I know is the best that there is. Your results are a reflection of your capabilities. Simple fact. So if your results are not adding up, then something needs to shift in the capabilities. Got it, everybody? And the primary metrics for a business owner is profitability. Okay, there's no confusion about that concept. If the team and you are not winning financially, then change. Change. Your team has to win because they're trusting their career with you. And you have to win because you've trusted your life with this business. So if your team and you are not winning financially, then make some change. Either change your skills, change your business model, or change the business. Change. Got that? These are your 4 elements. Okay. I'll give you an example of profitability, of profit focus. Okay. Here's Dhruv Mittal. He's in steel wires manufacturing. He was doing a revenue of 26 crores per annum, only focused on revenue volumes. He was looking at, okay, turnover, no focus on profitability. He came in, we worked with him on his profit focus. We focused on high margin clients, even if the volumes from those clients were low. Now, when he started catering to high margin clients, here's what happened. He increased his net profit from 10% to 30%. Now, for him as a steel wires manufacturer selling in a B2B environment, the bigger brands squeeze you on pricing. Agree? They squeeze you on pricing. But there were smaller players who were willing to buy. Okay? He grew from 10% to 30%. And not just in his profit, his revenue grew because the market he started addressing was a lot larger. His revenue grew to 42 crores in a year. That's what profit focus can do. You start looking at your customer as a potential spouse. It's like matchmaking. Is it worth living your life with that customer? That's how you got to evaluate a customer. Someone who's not willing to let you earn, not the right person to spend your life with. So choose customers and segments that are higher profit margins. Okay. I'll give you another example. Advait and Shilpi run a software development business. They're doing a revenue of 26 lakhs per month. And their model of pricing was fixed costs. They would close a project with a client at a fixed cost saying, okay, 15 lakh rupees, 8 lakh rupees, 6-month project, 12 lakh rupees, 3-month project, whatever. Now, because of this fixed cost project model, sometimes the time of delivery used to go longer than the 3 months, 6 months. Now, the client was not willing to change the pricing because client says, boss, you told me you'll give me the software application in 12 lakh rupees. I don't care. But they were incurring salary expenses, infrastructure expenses, tool costs, and sometimes overshooting their budget. And the client is the one who's making changes in between of the project also. Now, client is making changes in the project requirement, but not willing to make the change in pricing. How many of you have experienced that? I've seen a lot of real estate contractors, interior designers, architects, IT companies experience that, website development agencies experience that. Client is saying price won't change, but now I feel I need this. Now I feel that change needs to happen. So from a fixed cost model, they said we have to optimize ourselves. We have to be profit focused. They shifted to an hourly rate model. With the same team size, infrastructure, and resources. From 26 lakhs per month, they went up to 80 lakhs per month. It's a simple shift, profit focus. So, ladies and gentlemen, in summary, these are your key changes for growth. Number one, your business model. Build strategies to become a superlative. Number two, your marketing. Learn skills to become an educator or content creator in your industry or segment, no matter how traditional your business is. Number three, your management systems. Create systems for goal setting, hiring, role delegation, developing people, appraising salaries scientifically, and firing the wrong people. Number four, your profit margin strategies. Either you get deals at your price or you make margins at their price. How many of you believe these are 4 key anchors to build a profitable and a scalable business? If you agree, type out agree in the chat box. How many of you have learned something in the last 1 hour and 45 minutes? If you have to describe one word for your time spent here in this 2-hour business training so far, I'm not yet done with you, but if you have to describe one word to describe your experience, okay, what would that one word be? Type out for me in the chat box. Okay. Worth it. Awesome. Okay. Great learning. Great. Okay. Time well spent. Worth learning. Amazing. Okay. Valuable. Amazing. Mind blowing. Reality check. Eye opening. Empowering. Self evaluation. पैसा वसूल. पैसा दिया कहाँ? इसके लिए फ्री ट्रेनिंग है. Okay. Eye opening. Awesome. Okay. Learning. Insightful. Okay. Game changer. Realization. Wake up call. Eye opening. Most helpful. Value addition. Transformational. Game changer. Maza aa gaya. Best learning. Best 2 hours. Fantastic. Thank you. Now, guys, in these 2 hours, Gokul says 2 hours is not enough. I agree to you, Gokul. In these 2 hours, what I've given you is the foundation. I've given you the foundation that you need to work on your business model, your marketing, your management system, and your profit margins. How many of you feel, based on this learning, you've also realized that there are certain gaps in the skills of your business and gaps in the systems of your business? Okay. How many of you genuinely, if you have to do a honest evaluation, you feel, okay, there are gaps in my skills and there are gaps in my business systems? Yes? Awesome. So would you like to create those systems and develop those skills with my support? Would you like to create those systems and develop those skills with my support? Awesome. So for those of you who want to learn those skills and create these management systems in your business, I'm going to offer you an opportunity to continue this learning journey with me and be a part of a 3-day management system training that I have designed, and I've been teaching it since April 2016. Would you be open to learning and hearing more about that, everybody? Awesome. Fantastic. So the 3-day invitation I have for all of you is to be a part of my signature program called the Business Space program, which I've been teaching since April 2016. More than 35,000 business owners have adopted the PACE system as their management system in their business. Now, I'm going to give you 2 options of dates. You can choose whichever option that works for you. You can see the slide. These are 2 options of dates. It's 3 full days from 10 in the morning to 7 in the evening. It's an online live training. Okay. So it's online, but it's live. So you can attend it from the comfort of your home or your office, and you can Be a part of any one of these two batches. Whichever batch works for you is fine by me. Okay, whichever batch works for you is fine by me. Now, can I break down for you what happens in these 3 days and what do we do with you in these 3 days? What systems we create for your business? Would you like to know that? Awesome. So listen carefully. These 3 days is from 10 to 7, not because it's a training program. This is not a training program. This is a workshop where there is learning and creation happening then and there. So I make you create the goal creation system. I make you create the hiring system. I make you create the appraisal system, the firing process then and there in the 3 days. Because only learning will not add value. Learning and creation is what will add value. Agree, everyone? Yes? Guys, hold all your questions. I'll answer your questions after we are done with the session. So please hold all your questions. Okay. Now, let me break down the 3 days for you. Day 1, we start at 10 in the morning. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., I work with you on a holistic goal setting system. I give you a template which you can use on a yearly, quarterly, and monthly basis in your business to design financial goals and functional goals in detail. Like I said, only financial goals is not enough. You need to design functional goals in marketing, sales, operations, accounts, human resources management, and I break down a template that you can use. So we give you that template and we make you use the template in the program as a version 1. So you get used to using the template. So 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. is you practicing that template on day 1. And the impact of this goal setting system, this goal setting template that you learn, is you learn how to identify clear priorities in your business. So you are not wasting time in firefighting. You know exactly what needs to happen in marketing, sales, operations, human resources, accounts, and management. So the financial goals become a natural byproduct. You will also, using this template, get a approach to create goals by involving your teams. If you have teams, which means usually in businesses, business owner creates the goals, dumps it on the team. The way we teach you how to use the template, after the program, you will use this template with your teams as well. So the team has ownership and alignment towards the goal. Got that, everybody? So this is the first day, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., we work with you on business growth strategies. We give you strategies to improve your profit margins. We give you strategies to deal with slow payments if you're facing a challenge with slow payments. We give you strategies to improve the consistency of your sales. How many of you have any of these 3 problems? Low margin, slow payment, or inconsistent sales? If you do, type out me in the chat box. Type out me in the chat box. So from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., I work with you on strategies in these 3 areas, irrespective of the size of your business, irrespective whether you're a B2B, B2C, or a B2CH business. These strategies are something that you will learn and identify for your business from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on day 1 itself. The impact is we help you build a business which actually makes money and improve your cash flows. Because we are very clear. Purpose of business is to build profitable businesses, not to lie to ourselves that we are building something and not making money. Okay. So that is day 1. Day 2 of the PACE program, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we go into people management systems. So this is where we create systems with you. I help you create a hiring system so you can hire the right kind of people. I help you create a people development system for existing team members so you can develop their capabilities. I help you design a scientific salary appraisal system so you can do salary appraisals in a fair manner so people get what they deserve. And I help you create a firing process as well. So you can let go of people who are lying, cheating, stealing, or engaging in any kind of illegal activities at the workplace. How many of you agree just being able to develop a hiring system will help you hire the right kind of people and reduce your dependency in the business? If you agreed, I would agree in the chat box. That one hiring system is a gold mine, is a game changer for businesses. And you save your time and money by avoiding the wrong hire. A wrong hire is an expensive activity for a business. And most importantly, when you design the right kind of hiring, development, and appraisal system, you retain talent and you build a fair workplace. So day 2, this is one of the critical learnings where we create these systems for your business. You walk out with a step-by-step system to follow in your business when it comes to people management areas. Then from 4:30 to 7 p.m. on day 2, I work with you on functional management. What do I mean by functional management? See, as a business owner, there are 3 areas you need to take care of. One is your business strategies, which happens from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on day 1. Second is your people management, which happens on day 2 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. hiring, developing, appraising, firing. The third aspect is functional management. where first we will do an assessment of marketing, sales, operations, accounts, human resources, and management in your business. So we'll assess those business functions. Then based on the status of those business functions, I'll give you 9 steps that you have to follow in each business function to make that function functional, which means what? You will be able to identify which are those high priority functions so that you save your time and money. Should you focus on marketing? Should you focus on sales? Should you focus on HR? Should you focus on management? Should you focus on accounts? So we'll identify that based on your business situation. Then I will give you the foundational mechanism to make sure at least marketing, sales, operations are running in your business consistently, so there is stability and growth. Because how many of you agree? If marketing is not bringing leads, sales is not generating revenue, operations is not delivering value, then there is no stability in the business. Yes or no? All three are critical. So we give you the 9 steps to know what you need to focus on and prioritize. So that's day 2. Day 3, we start at 9 in the morning, we go until 7 in the evening. Day 3 is the day where I give you specific steps to grow your business. Now, this is where each one of you are at a different stage. So how many of you agree? If each one of you are at a different stage of business, one size will not fit everyone. Yes or no? One size will not fit everyone. Okay, guys, hold your questions. Anshu, hold your questions. Okay. So what we do is this. We do an assessment. And for those of you who are at a stage where your business is struggling for survival, okay, then we give you specific steps to focus on to move from struggle and survival to stability. For those of you who are already stable, the same steps of businesses that are in struggle or survival will not be relevant for you. So I give you specific steps if you're already stable to move from stability to success. For those of you who are already successful, we give you specific steps to move from success to scale. So for each category of business, based on your current financial situation, we design a roadmap. So you leave day 3 of the PACE program with a clear roadmap, which is relevant for your business. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel through trial and error, and you're using a proven framework for growth. How many of you think that would be precious? If you think that would be precious, type out agree in the chat box. Awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the 3-day business PACE program. It's a system creation and a skill building program for the business owners. Got that? So we help you create systems for management and help you build skills for management. Only being good at the product or service skills is not good enough. You also need to develop management skills and management systems for you to take your business to the next level. Now, before I tell you the investment for these 3 days, I also want to clearly be transparent who should not register for this program. So listen carefully. If you are in a job, please don't waste your time or money by participating and registering for the business PACE program. Because think about it, if you are in a job, you don't have the authority to change the goals, change the hiring process, change the appraisal system, change the people development system, change the firing process of your company. So is it clear that if you're in a job, you should not attend the PACE program? If that is clear, type out clear in the chat box. Because I don't want you to waste your time and money on something that you cannot implement and get the benefits from. If that is clear, please type out clear in the chat box. Second, if you're an aspiring business owner, which means you don't have a running business. If you don't have a running business, okay, do not register and participate in the PACE program. This is not relevant for you. And the reason I say that is because this program, 3 days, is about a lot of creation. Now, if you don't have a business, what will you create the goals for? What will you create the hiring process for? What will you create the firing system for? What will you create the appraisal system for? So it will not be the best use of your time and money. So if you are an aspiring business owner, whenever you start your business, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, whenever you start your business, get in touch with me and on Instagram and tell me I've started my business. When is the next batch happening? I'll tell you when the next batch is happening. Is that clear, everyone? So who is this program for? It's not for people in jobs. It's not for people who are aspiring business owners. This program is for people who have a running business. It doesn't matter what is the size of your team, whether you're a 1-man, 1-woman, home-based solo entrepreneur, or a 2-member, 5-member, 10-member, 20-member team, or a 30, 50, 80, 100, 200-member organization, or a 500,000-member team. How many of you agree? Irrespective of your size, irrespective of your sector, whether you're manufacturing, trading, retail, real estate, or IT, or food, or trainer, coach, healer, doctor, lawyer, chartered accountant, interior designer, irrespective of your profession, As long as you have a business, how many of you agree you need to learn how to create holistic scientific goals? If you agree, type out agree in the chat box. Okay. As long as you are running a business, how many of you agree that you need to create business growth strategies for improving margins, for reducing sales cycle and improving the payment cycle of your business? If you agree, type out agree. As long as you are running a business, how many of you agree that you need to learn how to hire the right people? You need to have a process for firing the wrong people. You need to have a appraisal system and a people development system for existing team members. If you agree, type out agree. And as long as you run a business, irrespective of your size, sector, situation, industry, do you agree you need to learn how to activate marketing, sales, operations, accounts, human resources, and management in your business? If you agree, type out agree. So it doesn't matter what your size is, doesn't matter what your sector is, doesn't matter what your income is, doesn't matter your situation. If you are a business owner, the curriculum of the PACE program is relevant for you. Got that? Okay. Now, what's the investment for the business owners? For the business owners who attend the PACE program, let me tell you, I've been teaching PACE since April 2016. And before COVID, I used to do this in different cities in a banquet hall of a five-star hotel for 3 days, where we used to provide lunch and dinner. Now, because we had lunch and dinner charges plus banquet hall charges, we used to charge 30,000 rupees as an investment for the PACE program. Plus, participants used to buy a workbook which has all the templates of the PACE system in the workbook. So the total investment used to be 40,000 rupees. Since COVID, since July 2020, I took this program online. We decided to stay online with this program because it's more effective online, for the simple fact that in this program, when we do this online, every break of the program, we have an AI coach where I'm teaching, I'm training the entire program. But in every break, when we take that 15-minute tea break or the 40-minute lunch break, we give you an AI coach to access online where you can ask questions and the AI coach answers your questions during the breaks. And then after the program is done on day 1 and day 2, listen to this carefully. The program ends at 7 p.m. After 7 p.m., you get my coaching team. I have a team of 65 business coaches full-time in Quantum Leap. You get access to these business coaches where we put you in Zoom rooms, in small breakout rooms, and you can stay back on day 1 and day 2 after 7 p.m. till whatever time you want, till 11 in the night, 12 in the night. Ask as many questions, share as many challenges of your business, and get solutions that are personalized for your business situation. How many think that is powerful? Now, that is possible only if it's online. If I do a physical event, I can't do this with people. So we've decided to keep the program online itself. And because it's online, the cost is also lower because I don't have lunch and dinner charges to pay or banquet charges to pay to a hotel. So since July 2020, the investment in the 3-day PACE program, including the workbook, where we send you a link for you to download and print the workbook and keep it ready with you before you attend the course. The investment is 14,997 plus 18% GST. This is the investment since July 2020. Now, for those of you who will register in the next 15 minutes and take action today, we have 2 action taker bonuses for you because we want to incentivize people who are committed to learning. So the first action taker bonus is that you will receive 3 video courses. Starting tonight, you will receive 3 video courses from our side, which you can access to from tonight. One is on mastering your time. Second is on mastering your life, which is your energy and focus. And third is on stages of scaling your business. Now, these 3 video courses are sold on my website, rajivtalreja.com, under the shop section for 6,000, 6,000 and 8,000 rupees. So these are modules we sell online as video courses. You get access to these as a bonus. For those of you who register in the next 15 minutes, you get these 3 video courses worth 20,000 rupees as a free gift. That's one. Second, for those of you who register in the next 15 minutes, for any of the batches, your investment in the PACE program will not be 14,997 plus 18% GST. It'll just be 4,999 inclusive of GST. So take action. I'm going to ask my team to put the link in the chat box. For you, this offer is available in the next 15 minutes. Make sure you take action and register yourself. So it's 4,999 inclusive of GST for 3 days of an online live training plus 3 video courses worth 20,000 rupees. So that's the action taker offer for those of you who take action in the next 15 minutes. My team has put the link in the chat box. Use the link and make the payment. If you have any questions regarding the PACE program, feel free to put those questions in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer them. If you have any questions regarding what I've taught you today, okay, or any challenge you're facing in your business, then send me your question on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at Rajiv Talreja, RAJIVTLREJ. Send me your question in my inbox in Instagram. So I will answer them for you personally. So you get a solution for that. If you have questions regarding the PACE program, put it in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer those questions. Sanya, make sure you take action. Rahul says, I will need a GST bill. Rahul, once you're done with the payment of 4,999, our accounts team